My thoughts about this story is that it is probably one of the most strangest stories I've heard. I've heard of people being chameleons and trying to blend in situations. You guys have heard about the lady that joined the NAACP. I forget her freaking name. It was just on the tip of my tongue. I remember hearing a little bit. Rachel Dolezal, right? She infiltrated the NAACP being a Caucasian person. I guess I could say that. I guess that's okay. But this level of blending in and trying to fit yourself into a place that you do not belong is an understatement. This is just a level of creepiness that I don't think you guys will ever hear. I hope you guys never hear this type of stuff again. Here we go. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. So I'm getting this particular story from NBC News now, or excuse me, NBCnews.com. Let me correct myself. So thank you for the article. So the guy that you see on my screen, he's actually 27 years old. Some of y'all might have looked at the screen and thought that he was maybe 17 years old, but he is not. He is nowhere close to that. A 27-year-old Nebraska man who posed as someone a decade younger and attended high school for more than 50 days, 50 days. Not 50 minutes, not 50 hours, 50 whole days. And he was sentenced to serve at least 85 years in prison, and you're going to find out why he's serving 85 years, and I believe that the woman on the left-hand side of the screen needs to do at least half that amount of time in prison, okay? He's serving 85 years, or he's going to serve, and he's sentenced to 85 years in prison in connection with sex crime charges, according to court documents. A Lancaster County judge sentenced Zachary Seach, whatever his name is. I can't pronounce that. I don't give a damn. Whatever his stupid ass name is. Anyway, sentenced Zachary last week after he pled no contest in July to first-degree sexual assault, attempted first-degree sexual assault, generation of child pornography, age 19 or over, and child enticement with electronic communication, according to a sentencing order and a plea agreement. So I know y'all are wondering, what the hell did he do? If you read the title, then you know that he posed himself as a high school student. He forged documents, played a role, and he was able to be a student at a school for, thank you, Ash and Emmy, 10 weeks, otherwise known as 50 days in school with your children. Do y'all remember when I said this thing? And I want y'all to remember that DJ Just J said this thing. DJ Just J said, pedophiles cannot be rehabilitated. They cannot be fixed. They need to be discarded and thrown away out of our society. They need to be deported out of our society into prison cells for the rest of their natural born lives in order to protect our children. But we've got to find them, castigate them, send them to court, and get their asses out of here. Zachary's sentence runs a maximum of 120 years in prison, according to the order, and I like that. He will not be eligible for parole for 40 years, which will put him at 67 years old. 67 years old, roughly. And that's if he's even able to parole, which we hope he doesn't. Okay? At his sentencing hearing, Lancaster County Deputy Attorney Amber Scope said Zachary targeted, groomed, and lured students by way of social media while pretending to be their peer or boyfriend, the station reported. The public defender's office that represented Zachary did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Wednesday night. Zachary identified himself as Zach Hess, Hess, allegedly 17 years old was what he was trying to pose himself as, and he attended 2 high schools in Lincoln, Northwest High School and Southeast High School, for 54 days in the 2022-2023 school year. So he started at one school and ended up in another. He was admitted to the schools using fake documents, including a birth certificate, immunization records, a transcript, and medical records, the official said. A spokesperson for the district where Zachary attended high school also did not respond to a request for comment. Authorities began investigating Zachary in June of 2023 after a concerned parent contacted the school district. Police announced his arrest in July. Charging documents showed the crimes he pled guilty to mostly occurred in 2022 and 2023. Several victims were under the age of 16 years old, the documents show. Another one was 13 years or older. One of the sexual assault charges from 2019 involved 2 people whose ages were not included in the documents. In September 2023, authorities accused the 23-year-old woman of criminal impersonation, alleging that she posed as Zachary's mother, which is this stupid-ass broad. I just don't understand how you can get any dumber than this. A 23-year-old woman helped him impersonate being a high schooler so he can go violate children. You said there was a lady that did the same thing too? You gotta, if you have that, send me that story when you get a chance. Like, send that to me if you have that. Because I've heard of teachers sexually assaulting children. I've heard of counselors doing it all of this year. Teachers, men, women, psychologists, counselors, police officers, and I think even one situation there was a mayor. I think it was a mayor if I'm not mistaken. I did that recently. But this is how far they're willing to go. So they're just like, you know what? I don't want to spend time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok trying to lure in children. I don't want to go to parks. I don't want to go to the mall. He's like, you know what? I want to be literally in a place full of underage people, and I'm willing to do anything to get there. And what makes it even wilder is that you have somebody who knows what you're trying to do, and they help you accomplish your goal. A woman, I want y'all to think about how bad that is. A woman helped a man sexually assault other girls, young women. What was her motivation for doing that? We know what his motivation is. He's a damn pedophile. He's what's referred to as a hebephile, actually, because that's over the age of 13. So a pedophile and a hebephile. We know why he did what he did, But why did she help him knowing what he was, knowing what he was trying to accomplish, and helped him do it anyway? She posed as this man, this grown-ass man's mother, and helped him get enrolled into two different schools. She pled not guilty and the case is ongoing. And they say that a previous version of this article misstated KOLN TV Network's affiliation. It's CBS affiliate and not NBC affiliate, whatever. Anyway, let me give you guys the fair usage. We only got a couple news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I'm just saying, it is harder. It is so hard to get any lower than that. That is lower than a bow-legged caterpillar. I'm just saying, if y'all would do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, man, y'all have got to just be diligent with your kids. I talk to my daughter all the time. Just be as careful as you can, man. These predators are willing to do anything to gain access to your kids. Be willing to protect them, parents, okay? Now, I'm only play a couple of these videos.
Earlier today, the man who posed as a high school student for 54 days at 2 Lincoln high schools learned how long he'll be in prison. More than a year after being arrested and less than 2 months after taking a plea deal, Zachary Scheich, now 27 years old, will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars.
They knew not to speak with an adult male on social media. They knew not to meet an adult male by themselves. They knew how to defend themselves against that kind of danger. So they did not know how to protect themselves against you because, again, they thought you were their peer, their friend, and because you gained their trust.
Today, Judge Darla Idias sentenced Zachary Scheich to a minimum of 85 years in prison. At max, he could serve 120. He won't be eligible for parole for more than 40 years and is also required to register under Nebraska's Sex Offender Act. Scheich was arrested in July of 2023 after authorities discovered he had been pretending to be a high schooler at Lincoln Northwest and Lincoln Southeast. At the time, Lincoln police said Scheich used falsified documents and an elaborate backstory to pass himself off as a 17-year-old student. During his time posing as a student, he used the fake name Zach Hess and texted with girls as young as 13 years old. Prosecutors said he sexually assaulted those children off school grounds. During his sentencing, the prosecutors drove home the severity of Scheich's actions.
He is a predator of the worst kind, the kind that preys on children. He targeted, groomed, and lured them via social media, and he did so under the guise of being their peer, their friend, and in some cases their boyfriend. And he did so for his own sexual purpose and gratification.
After taking a plea deal, Scheich's 15 felony charges were reduced to 5, which include child enticement and generation of child pornography, as well as first-degree sexual assault. Last year, LPS said it would be reviewing its enrollment policies. Today, school officials said the district conducted meetings and trainings with staff, but could not share specifics about verification protocols to ensure security. Police also arrested Angela Navarro last year, alleging she helped Scheich get enrolled at LPS, posing as his mother with the false name Danielle Hess. Navarro has pleaded not guilty to a single charge of criminal impersonation. She's slated to be in court tomorrow.
We're in Lancaster County Court as prosecutors charge this man with child sex trafficking and enticement.
He does look like Sideshow Bob. Let me see if I can find that. Sideshow Bob. Wow, golly. Boy, y'all hit that on the head. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this right there. Y'all have got to see this. Who was that said that in the chat? Shout out to Symphony. You are 100% correct. Look at this. Tell me that man don't look like Sideshow Bob. Look at that. looks just like him. Yeah, I think we're going to have to leave that picture up. That's exactly what he looks like. We're going to put it right about there. Yep. And she looks crazy too. Like, I don't know what she looked like. She looked like... I don't know if I can say that or if I'll get in trouble if they're going to call me racist. If I said that she looks like the Mexican Pillsbury Dough girl. I don't know. I don't know if that's racist or not. I don't know.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Bill Shammert.
I'm Quinicia Fraser. Investigators say the 26-year-old posed as a high school student for months and had inappropriate contact with several underage girls.
KETV News Watch 7's Joey Safchek is live in Lincoln with what prosecutors and school officials are saying. Joey.
Bill, Quinicia, that adult man attended school for 54 days. And in that time, these court documents alleged he asked girls, some as young as 13 or 14, to engage in sexual activity with him. 26-year-old Zachary Scheich in court Friday from...
Y'all said the Temu Dora the Explorer. Oh my God. DJ Just J has left the building. I ain't reading the chat no more.
his jail cell in a jumpsuit, a very different look from what police describe as his disguise as a 17-year-old high school student.
I never thought twice about the kid.
Just walking in the halls like, well, a normal student.
Of course, he wasn't a normal classmate when he went by Zach Hess and pretended to be a high school junior, according to court documents.
It was a little bit surreal. Just had no idea that something like that could happen here.
Lincoln Public Schools and Lancaster prosecutors allege Scheich used all, quote, incredibly well-crafted, fraudulent documents, including a birth certificate and vaccination records.
You know, it's funny how he went through all of that and didn't grow up and become something successful. So clearly, you see, if he sets his mind to something, sexually assaulting underage kids, I mean, damn, he could have done something positive with his life, something productive. But I'd rather a pedophile get caught. I'm just saying.
To enroll at Lincoln Northwest High School.
The documents are not verified. We take students' words for these documents. We're reviewing all of our enrollment processes right now.
Police say he later transferred to Lincoln Southeast. That's the school he actually graduated from in 2015. This is his yearbook photo.
This student completed the enrollment process online.
I want y'all to understand what they just said. They said that this freaking fool graduated from the same school that he returned to, what, 9 years later? 8 years later? So did they not have no teachers, no staff, nobody that was there within that 8-year period that would have remembered him? Nobody caught that? You would have caught that on the first freaking day of school. People need to start paying attention. Just in general, yes. You said, how does she play the mom and he looks older than her? I truly do not know. Because she looked a hell of a lot younger than him, and she is a lot younger than him. 7, 6, 1. He's 4 years older than her. He's 27, she's 23. But she's the mother of, God dang, just do the math. So if he's 17 years old in high school, that means take 10 years off of her 23. That'd make her 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 years old. So you mean to tell me a 23-year-old woman is the mother of a 17-year-old? Let's look at this again. That woman right there, let me make sure I got this right. A 23-year-old woman is accused of criminal impersonation. That would have made her 6 freaking years old. Unless they're just saying that as big and fat that she looks like she could have been old enough to have a 17-year-old. Like she has a 23-year-old's, I don't know, face, I guess. Like she looks young in the face. She's big in the body, young in the face, huh? That's a good one. Big in the body, young in the face.
Submitted the documents online, and their parent was not directly involved in the enrollment process, which is not unusual.
Although police say he only showed up for school for 54 days. We asked why that didn't raise red flags, and the district says it will.
What they mean only 54 days? Only 54 days? Man, he shouldn't have lasted 54 minutes. He shouldn't have lasted 54 minutes, let alone 54 days. If he went to the same school that he graduated from 8 years prior, come on now. From the high school that I went to, do you think that by the time I was 27 years old, even if I was 23 years old, do you think that I could have snuck my way back into my old high school? People that knew me, family, friends, people around the neighborhood, nobody would have noticed me. So nobody knew who he was. You have to tell me that if he graduated, that means that nobody talked to him at all for 4 years. Nobody knew who he was, and nobody gave a shit about him for 4 whole years. That makes absolutely, yeah. I think whoever said that they should sue the school district, I don't know that it's going to fix nothing, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if suing the school district is going to fix nothing here. You don't want to bankrupt the school, but you want them to fix the problem. See, so here's the thing. You're saying online policies, and I definitely get what you're saying. You could always make that better. You see a loophole, you fix the loophole. I agree with you there. But what I'm saying is that he's been here before, children's. He been here before. Did the teachers notice and didn't give a damn? It's the same person, and he used the same first name. They did not go through 4 years of high school calling him Zachary. You know what they called him? Zach. And then when he comes back to the school, he has a different last name, but guess what they're still calling him by the first name? Zach. And you look the exact same. None of that rang a bell. 54 days, I wouldn't have lasted 54 minutes. I probably personally wouldn't have lasted 54 seconds before somebody be like, hey, that's Jay. What you doing up here? I wouldn't have been able to make it to the first bell. I wouldn't have made it out of breakfast. I would have went down to get my breakfast and, what your ass doing up here? What are you doing up here? Shit, nothing up here. I'm enrolled. But I thought you graduated. I thought you got your high school diploma. I did. I'm going back for my master's high school diploma. Didn't know those existed. That's wonderful. See you in class.
Would have sent absence letters and called home.
Again, in this particular case, both the home address and the phone number appear to be fraudulent.
Court documents allege the man had ongoing text conversations with girls as young as 13 and 14, coaxing them to engage in illegal sexual activity and asking for and receiving sexually explicit materials in exchange for the promise of money, including one payment investigators say they were able to locate.
This is an extremely serious situation. We are not taking this lightly. We understand the concern that this can cause.
Shaikh will have to pay $25,000 to get out of jail, and he can't have contact with anyone under 18. Reporting live in Lincoln, Joe.
Wait a minute. They said $25,000. Why would you even take that risk if this man is facing what they say, 85 years in prison? Let me go back. Let me find it. He's facing 120 years in prison and would not be eligible for parole for 40 years. Why would you give him a bail at all? Doesn't it sound like he'd be a flight risk? Lord have mercy. I think they got that wrong too.
And has been hit with one count of criminal impersonation, which if convicted carries a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison. Her first appearance didn't last long, as these usually go pretty quickly, with the judge setting her bond at $5,000, meaning she'll have to come up with $500 to get out of jail. According to court documents, Navarro acted as if she was Shaikh's mom, and at one point even met with a school counselor to help him register for classes. In doing so, she used the alias Danielle Hess. You may remember that Shaikh used a fake name while attending both Lincoln Northwest and Lincoln Southeast last year, going by Zach Hess. He's accused of victimizing 13 different people, and his charges range from first-degree sexual assault to sex trafficking of a minor to child enticement. Shaikh doesn't have any court dates currently scheduled. He remains in jail, and for Navarro, she's set to be back in court on October 25th. Of course, we'll continue keeping tabs on this story.
John?
Madison Cole, new charges filed against Zachary Shaikh today in the Lancaster County District Court paint a stark picture of Shaikh's alleged activity going all the way back to 2019. Back in July, a months-long LPD investigation culminated in the arrest of Zachary Shaikh at a public library.
The focus has now shifted from trying to locate the suspect to trying to identify the scope of his action.
Mr. Shaikh, can you hear me?
At his July arraignment, Shaikh faced 3 felony charges. Today, that number shot up to 15, bolstered by an influx of witnesses.
We're asking anyone who has had interaction with Shaikh or Hess, his alias, or may believe they are a victim in this case, to come forward.
The county now alleges Shaikh victimized 13 people in total, going all the way back to 2019. And his charges include 6 counts of first-degree sexual assault, 1 count of sex trafficking of a minor, along with child enticement and child pornography. Police say Shaikh had enrolled with fake paperwork in LPS during last school year under the alias Zach Hess. Shaikh attended 54 days of school at Lincoln Northwest and Lincoln Southeast. Lincoln Public Schools, responding to the updated charges, praised the victims who came forward and said it held trainings over the summer and, quote, put additional measures into place that will confirm the accuracy of information provided by families for students enrolling from outside of Lincoln Public Schools. LPS wouldn't go into specifics on those changes for security purposes. Shaikh's bail has doubled to $500,000, and he could face life in prison. His next court...
$500,000, that sounds a whole lot better. Okay, so there you go. So not a $25K bail, it is now $500,000. Okay, I'm like, good. That makes a lot more sense. I feel a lot more comfortable with a $500,000 bail. If he's able to get a $500,000 bail, then maybe he deserves to get out. Will they register? Yeah, if he's able to get out, yes. He will absolutely have to register as a sex offender, yes. Yep. But that's a big, big if, and it's at least 40 years from now. So we'll see if that ever comes to pass, if we even live that long to see it, especially if he gets the maximum 120 years. So nonetheless, this is the length that pedophiles are willing to go. And as clearly as you can see, anybody who's willing to help them, aid or abet them, they need just as much time in prison. If the very least, I'd say half. So 120 years, give her 60 years of that. If he does 40 years, give her 20 for helping him. She absolutely deserves it with a young face, big body, and Sideshow Bob looking ass over here. like I said, they need a whole lot of time in prison, a whole lot of time away from kids. Thank you guys so much for listening to this story. Pray for your babies. Be diligent with your kids, all right? Thank you.